It's going to be a lot faster this time because this time I'm ready for all the loops. See that? See how quick that was? This time it's very fast. It's very fast and quick tonight. Yeah, and we're live. Notice is going out all across the world. All around the world today. Are you ready for Doug and Stacy? All right, you got to talk to them.
Hello, everyone. Hello from Washington, Michelle. Hi.
Hello.
There's Pat.
Molly's very excited. She just had her supper time. Where are you, sweetie? Say hi to everybody. Come here. Say hi. Yes. Can people see you? Yes. Come say hi. Hello. There they are. They're right there. Molly's a good girl. Yep. She's a good girl. She hunts the animals and keeps everything good around the homestead and barks at the coyotes. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's such a happy girl. Oh,
there you guys are. I see everyone.
Girl. Such a happy girl. She loves her papa. Okay.
Yep, there's Virginia and Connie and Shannon and Mountain Valley Homestead and Christine and Stephanie and Something to Chew On and Carolyn.
Something to Chew On.
Texas Chopper, Sandy Church, Scaletta Jones, Jill
Coolis,
Victoria, Kathy, Patty, Darlene, Joshua, Suzanne, Sherry, Jen, and Larry Homestead. We're all here.
My goodness. Hey,
hi, guys.
The gang's all here.
Good evening. All right. So, what do you guys think? I can't believe it's like almost the middle of February.
People don't think anymore, hardly. Why did you ask them a think question? Are y'all thinkers?
Oh my gosh, Lisa G, 65256. She says she's at Foggy Bottoms Farm. That's a great name for that's a good one. That's from.
And I must say, I am so drowned in sorrow.
Name that movie.
I don't even know the words of none of that song.
Oh my gosh, Missy did.
Cute song.
It was good. Missy did 16 quarts of fermented veggies. Good
That's
job.
What I'm talking about.
Well, the cool thing is that you're gonna have it. Like today, I had some sauerkraut that we had with our dinner, and I mean it was like from it was almost a year. It was a year ago. Yeah, that I made it.
Hit that thumbs up if you like having an alternative to the bunch of millionaires running around in tights. Hanging out with Doug and Stacy instead of the Super Bowl.
Oh, Patty says hello to Molly.
Hello, Molly. She's a good girl. She went and laid down.
How you doing, Molly?
Just laying by the door.
Everyone said hello to you.
She's being a good girl. We're going to talk about the top foods that you all can grow to keep yourself from starving. We're going to wait just a second for folks to show up. And
besides the food, they're going to be healthful foods.
And storage.
And we're going to talk about things that grow quickly, too. So we're going to talk a lot about gardening, the food, and then we'll answer questions. We'll just do so much today.
Because y'all need to get ready for Friday. And in case you're new around here, everybody has to pay the price and hit the thumbs up on the way in. That way it sends out the video to everybody.
That's your admission to get
in. And it's free. And if you don't like the advice that we give in this video, we do offer full refunds.
Oh, it's Gail's first time from Minnesota. She's her first live. Welcome,
all right,
Gail.
Good job. We are the Sunday night crew, the ungovernables. We poop in buckets. We heat with wood. We live 100% off rainwater. And if anybody can prove we don't, I got $10,000 waiting for you. Nah.
What? Can I get it if they don't get it?
You can't prove we don't do it. What are you talking about?
No, we do.
See, now you're being facetious, right? And then all the clowns out there think you're being serious.
Okay.
You see how that is?
Yeah.
See how it works?
Yeah.
So the joke wasn't that good.
No.
I'm just trying to help you out.
Thank you. Oh, Sherry set her alarm. So that's good. So she's here too.
Yeah. And the funny thing that I see is like everyone says, well, I don't get notifications, like Google has to tell me what to do and where to be. So that's why I've been really saying it loud so you guys can put it on your calendars and you guys can get ready and you guys can be here.
Jubra, is that right? Stacy, she started sweet potato slips today. Yay! That's good. It's that time. And Ham 37 got chocolate tea and cookbooks. They said the tea's great and the books make my heart smile.
If you guys ordered a calendar from Clyde, he's a mom and pop outfit, right? Little small guy, him and his wife, they kind of do the charts. He came up with the chart, he patented it. Y'all, they are freaking out. So be patient with them. They got so many orders of their garden planners. I don't think it's like a factory of people that put this stuff together. This is just like Clyde and his little cute wife, and they're just nice little people that live in this farm community. And
they're homesteaders too.
And so, holy smokes, he called me up and he said, oh man, he's so grateful and everything, but man, please tell everybody, I don't know how many days it's going to take us to do it. He got the help from his neighbor down the street and everything else, y'all. So I told him, don't worry. I said, the folks are pretty patient, you know, so he'll be chewing through those pretty good. So you guys make sure you're patient with Clyde, but he'll get you your calendar, no doubt. He's a good, solid, stand-up individual.
Paul and Tammy's first time here too.
Yes. Make sure you guys are subscribed. YouTube's been unsubscribing folks. And then we're going to start talking about, you know, the best foods you guys can grow to keep from starving.
And a lot of the stuff maybe that's easier for you guys to grow. What if you don't have a place where you have a lot of room? We're going to kind of get into everything.
Yep. Everything.
Everybody can be successful in doing something.
Yes. And I'm serious as a heart attack. Anybody proves we don't do what we say we do, I got it. So I'm ready to pay it out.
Oh, K9 Striker. Yes. Molly is an Airedale.
Yes, an Airedale Terrier.
We've always had Airedales. Well, ever since we've been married, I've always had Airedales. I love them.
Stacy, what kind of tea do you drink at night?
It depends. Like sometimes, like last week when we did live, we had chamomile ginger. We had that, and then sometimes I do the sleepy time. And actually, we're gonna have a sleepy time kind of tea that I'm gonna do for our website. So this is sleepy time tea
coming up soon. Connor and Kristen, how are you tonight, man? Thanks for hanging out with Mom and watching our show on the YouTubes. We do appreciate you guys, and hopefully you guys are going to be future homesteaders and not city dwellers. But you guys have to make that decision for yourself. Looks like Mom and Dad are trying to point you in the right direction. All right.
Art for God wants to know, what can you do with a vinegar SCOBY? Make vinegar. You can't use it to make kombucha though. So all you do is you can save it with some juice, just like you do for kombucha. And then when you're making your vinegar, you're going to put it in there to jumpstart it. It won't take as long. All right. Look at
Will we be getting any more ducks? We talked about it, and we probably won't.
We talked about it.
Yeah, they're just too messy. We can't corral them.
I love them. I love the Indian runners.
And then we just watch them get picked off, so then it just breaks our heart. So, I mean, I'm being honest now. Why are you trying to say we
because I was thinking about it the other day.
What is going on tonight?
No, I really like the Indian runners. I was just
thinking about it. Did we not talk about it?
Well, I was thinking about it when I was out with the lamb today.
Don't make me put you on the front street now.
Well, no, but I really do. They are messy, but I love the Indian runners because they kind of go in the pack, and I kind of miss them like walking around.
We miss them. They're really cute. They have a great personality.
So don't ever say never. I might.
But we talked about it. They're really messy. They eat a ton of extra food. That's one thing for sure, especially in the wintertime. And we just, they get picked off too easy. They won't
because they don't want to go in. After a certain age, they like to stay out all the time.
You'll always get straight from Doug. I don't know what's going on. You'll always get it.
No, I do. I like them though. I miss them.
Straight business.
So sometimes you think, oh, maybe I should do it, and it's like,
you're trying to backpedal. I'm not a flip flopper.
No, I like them though.
We do love them.
Yeah.
No one ever said, "Do you like Indian runners?" Or no, we talked about if we're gonna have them.
So that's the whole thing for you guys that are maybe just starting to homestead. There's a lot of stuff you'll try. Like we've tried a lot of things here, and then it's enjoyable. It's nice, but sometimes in your life, you have to kind of pick the things that are best for you that work out the best. So right now we don't have the ducks, but don't ever say never.
I'm just saying we talked about it, and we're not planning on having none.
Well,
can you dehydrate the SCOBY for your dog or cat? You can just give it to them just like that too.
Yeah. I do it like with a regular SCOBY, get scissors and I cut them all up and I give them to the chickens. You don't even have to go the extra mile to dehydrate them. And then I just put like a piece or two in their food. The chickens love it. So I'll give it to the chickens And then you can also cut up your extra pieces, put them around your plants, like your house plants or your garden plants, and water them. You know, you can even dilute a little kombucha in some water, you know, a little bit. And then that could be like fertilizer too. So if you have vinegary kind of kombucha, you know, if you put a little bit of that in there, and the SCOBY's great. So you can use the SCOBY for a lot.
All right.
Ooh, Fran got 10 elderberry starts to root today.
Nice.
Marge did too. I talked, you know, Marge and Gary. Marge said she got hers going too.
They're the ground's softening up a little bit, so it's a good time for it.
Oh, Alistair's from Northern Ireland. Should be in bed. It's 1 a.m., but it's worth it. Well, welcome, Alistair. That's awesome.
Oh, White Feather has their first batch of eggs on lockdown in the incubator. You know why incubator eggs are #1 at your house? Because they can't slip a vaccine on you. A lot of these hatcheries, right, they really push that stuff. And if you're a first-time chicken person, you don't have a clue, and you're like, oh, wait, I think it sounds good. Yeah, go ahead and get that one. Yeah, don't do it, right? We don't recommend it. We don't get them that way. We incubate too. That's another great way to get your stuff. Pure blood. I can tell you a bunch of companies that really push it, and it's not really good.
Laurel Houseman, she did 4 jars of honey garlic. You guys are working. I mean, look at everyone's doing
What
so
is a
much
SCOBY?
stuff.
That's your department.
SCOBY. So it's SCOBY, symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. So it kind of looks, would you like to see it?
Get
I'll
it.
show you.
And it actually, you use it to make the kombucha. You can make kombucha at your home so you don't have to buy it. So we have a lot of videos on how to make it. Here's a brew we have going right here. And that thing that floats inside of there, that's called the SCOBY. And you'll keep getting those as you make it. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. It's like perpetual food, the way God designed it, right? Not the store where you always have to buy it and buy it and buy it.
Okay, did you see I pulled the top piece off?
Here it comes. Hold on, let me help him. I don't know if it's going to crumble on you, but I'll try to get you closer. No, I was talking about them.
This is just the one that was on top. It's what happens is it's kind of like a symbiotic culture of bacteria yeast. It forms on the top, and then you can kind of see little strings. Can you get closer?
No, that's about it.
On the bottom, it kind of comes from the bottom, and basically that's all the good stuff. You know, when you hear like people buy apple cider vinegar and you want it with a mother, you don't want it when they make it clear. Even like with juices and stuff, you know, when they strain it out, you want it to be kind of foggy in there and where you can't really see through it, because it hasn't been messed up. You know, they haven't, you know, heated it up or they haven't done anything to it. So this is just the kombucha. You're going to let it ferment for a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, and then it forms that on top. So what it does is just like if you would make yogurt, like with yogurt, you need to use a culture to put it in, or when you make sourdough bread, you have to put your yeast in, or any kind of bread, you need yeast. This is the same principle. So you need to put a little bit of this juice and that SCOBY thing on top. It kind of looks like a jellyfish. And you're going to put that in your next batch of tea that you make. And basically it's just, you know, you use some black tea or green tea with some sugar, and then you pour this juice with the SCOBY thing on it. And then that way it'll brew it again, and it just keeps going and going and going. And it makes this wonderful, healthful probiotic drink that has billions of bacteria.
One thing that I knew about sciatic pain, nerve pain, was when I got a little heavy, I had a problem with it. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's the #1 thing to get after, because your body's pulling yourself forward, your stomach's getting out of line with your back. And I pinched it this one time, I could not even stand up. I was like this. And I was like, that's it for me, man. I'm never having that stuff again. So. And
generally with sciatica, a lot of people have very tight hip flexors here in the front, you know, like the muscles that like attaches your leg to your body. So if you have tight hip flexors, that can contribute to it a lot too. And also hamstrings. So, you know, think about, for a lot of us, you know, there's so much on YouTube you can find. You can find gentle stretching or gentle yoga or gentle something, because the stretches are so important for our body. You know, we're sitting in this 90-degree angle. So when you go to get up, you know, your body and your spine especially, I talked about it quite a few weeks ago in one of the lives, I think. Each of your vertebrae kind of has like this jelly stuff in between. It's sort of like a jelly donut. So imagine a little jelly donut between each vertebrae. So you've been sitting a long time. You sit all the time. You're driving all the time, sitting all the time. So it's going like this, and then your discs a lot of times. I'm taught this like a bulging disc. But what happens is like you'll get up to stand up or something, and then maybe some of that jelly from your vertebrae squirts out, and then you have like a bulging disc. So a lot of times when you've been sitting a long time, it's always good every hour or so to get up for at least a couple minutes to get up and move. But when you stand up, to kind of like push your hips forward a few times to push the jelly back in the donut. So that's one thing you can do. But even just stretching, like pulling your knees into your chest, laying on your back, bending your knees, doing a bridge where you push your hips up because that's going to stretch out in your hip flexors. And that's so, so important. Some of these things are so easy. I know a lot of people don't like to exercise. When you look at the statistics of people who like to exercise, it's pretty low. So something like that, you can lay on your bed, lay on your back, bend your knees, push your hips up in the air and let them come down, and do like 10 or 15 of those. And if you do that a few times a week, that could really help with the tight hip flexors. And when you're laying on your back, pull those knees in a few times. That's going to really stretch out through that back. So those things are really important because we lose that ability to be more mobile the more we sit around and we don't do as much. So keep stretching, look for stuff on YouTube, and that should help.
I promise you this, you guys are here because, we're talking about food to grow, to keep you from starving. None of this even matters if you don't have your physical health, right? If you can't move, if you can't maintain yourself in a, maybe the grid down situation. They're floating these balloons around now. I have sons in the military. We talk about this. They could actually put an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse bomb, on one of these balloons and pop it off. And it could decimate the whole area underneath it for miles and miles and miles. You guys will be without all this stuff, and you're going to need to be fit. So make sure you're doing what you can where you are, and start soon, like now.
And for some of you guys, maybe you're not able to get around or you're not that mobile. You can do all this stuff in a chair. There's so much you can do sitting in a chair. Like when you're sitting here watching us.
Yes.
You could be sitting in the chair. You could do wrist circles. You could do ankle circles. You can do like the knee pulls. You can fall forward and roll back up. You can do shoulder rolls. You can stretch. I mean, just movement.
You could do the Doug and Stacy harvest chair move. Watch. The Doug and Stacy harvest chair move. Plant. Oh, pick my crop, plant.
You guys just try to get some kind of movement in. Anybody, any age, anybody, any ability. If you're in a wheelchair, you all can do this. All of you. We really need to keep moving that body because it helps with your circulation. It helps with just generally feeling better. I can't tell you the amount of people because I've taught group exercise classes for 35 years.
Oh my gosh.
40 years. Just the amount of people who don't like to exercise, and then maybe they start coming and they're like, I can't tell you how much better I feel, or my shoulders don't hurt anymore, my hips don't hurt, I just feel so much better. And then the more you do it, or you find something you like, you can do it. So you can sit there right now and you can be doing your stuff, doing your stretches.
High five.
And do something.
High five. Okay, so let's talk about some of the food that y'all should grow, right, to keep you from starving in 2023. Easy food that even the beginners can handle, and if you're a good gardener, then you could turn over some crops pretty quick. You could sell some crops. You can barter some crops. You can store extra crops. People seem to have this, I don't know. I guess it's because we're trained in at the stores, and you just can't wrap your head around it, like living 100% off rainwater. And we feed our animals that same rainwater, but we get over 40 inches of rain a year, so that matters, right? So people can't wrap their head around like they live 100% off rainwater. And we do. We live 100% off rainwater, and our animals drink the same rainwater that we do. Ours is a little more filtered. And they also have a big pond to drink out of, right? Growing 90% of our own food. We ferment a lot of our food for storage. We've always told y'all that we've kept a freezer at a neighbor's house. Ever since way back, we've told you that. Just like the Amish do. They all keep freezers at English people's houses, and we did that as well. So we have a freezer at now it's at Mom's house because she lives right here on the back. So we kept a freezer at somebody's house. So we have some meat in there for storage, some chickens that we put up, and we grow a cow every year with Noah. A couple cows a year we go through. So all the food that we raise here is grown on our property, or we farm with another farmer to raise that beef, another with that, and that's the sheep. And we grow all of that food here. So you guys, you can do it. I mean, seriously.
So the first thing that I want to talk about, if you're talking about growing for most anyone, is something that they call Three Sisters gardening. It first started by the Iroquois Indians, and they were just saying, they're going to eat it, they're going to grow it, and they're going to have the three sisters are going to work together, which are corn, beans, and squash, and they all have a job. So the corn is going to grow. Then you're going to have the beans are going to trellis up, but the beans are going to pull in nitrogen to help with the soil. Then you have the squash around the corn and the beans, and it's going to help with mulching and protecting it from anything, weeds or anything getting in there. And so they all work together. So that's something, if you guys want to just grow three things, if you have a little area in your yard, you could do, because corn's going to take a little bit more. And when you do corn, you need a couple rows. Now, you don't have to have rows like you see driving down the highway or anything. But if you have, like 6 or 8, if you have a little area that you could do a couple rows, because you need those rows so they can pollinate. But you could do corn, and you can get quite a bit of corn. You can get a lot of beans, and you can get a ton of squash. So right there, the good thing about squash, because there's 2 kinds of squash. You have your summer and your winter squashes. The summer squashes are going to be like your zucchini that have a quicker maturity time, and then you can eat them quicker earlier on. And then the winter squashes you're going to get where they'll be able to store more. So you can usually start your seeds at the same time, but you can get your squash. Like I still have squashes that we grew toward the end of the year that I have down in our root cellar, but they can store a long time. You have your butternut squash and your acorn squash and a lot of those.
What type of squash is that you like?
And I really like the zucchini rampicanti. Mm-hmm. It's an Italian heirloom. But you can do any of those, and those things you'll have food that'll make it through the whole year. And there's some place where you can store. If you have a cool place in your home, you can just go put them somewhere away from sunlight. So, and then your corn, if you go ahead and harvest your corn, you can dry it out. Some people freeze it. You could dry it and make it into like corn meal. So there's lots to do. You can can it, lots to do with your corn. And then the beans, of course, you can cook them fresh. You can can them. I mean, you can do so much with your beans. You can make fermented dilly beans. So those are 3 good things that you could do just right off if you're like, I don't really want to do a garden that much. If you did that, if you had a little area in your yard, and then maybe if, you wanted to plant some lettuce in a pot with some herbs, that could be like your little garden, and you really didn't have to do that much. So those would be, I really like the Three Sisters gardening. That's a really good one.
And then you can also check out Square Foot Gardening. So y'all dealing with small spaces, another good book is Square Foot Gardening.
For your raised beds, it's great.
And then you guys can put a lot of food, and that's what we kind of employ or deploy that method to grow a lot of food in our small spaces, because we use the raised beds, but we have 20 of them or 19 of them. But you can grow a lot of food in the raised beds. And you have a little more control over the soil. You get sooner starts. Like we can start sooner because it's above ground and that soil heats up. Remember before we talked in the live show about growing food, it's not just the temperature of the air, it also is the temperature of the soil. So we get out of the gates a little faster with the raised beds than you would if you planted in the ground.
So, another one we can also talk about that is a great survival food, and this one has been used for centuries and centuries by everyone, of course, are potatoes. It is the food that helped people survive. I mean, people ate potatoes, everything, that was everything. So potatoes are simple and easy. Anybody can grow those. If you don't have access to the ground, or maybe you're not able to get it, tilled up or anything, you can do container. You put the potatoes in containers, old pots, 5-gallon buckets. Just as long as they have a drain hole, get your potatoes that start getting the little buds on them, and then the little eyes, and then you're just going to cut them where the eyes are, and you're going to stick them in the earth, and they're going to grow. I did a video last year. What was it? Do you remember what it was called? I don't remember. No. That showed how to do it in the containers. And the funny thing is I have the raised beds. I do a lot of potatoes in the raised beds, but honestly, for me, I really enjoyed doing them in the big feed tubs, because it was so easy just to dump right out. So I think I'm going to do a lot more this year, and then that'll give me a little bit more room into my beds to do some other things like squashes or, tomatoes, who knows, peppers, some greens.
I don't get tired. I'm just trying to read these comments. It's flying by really fast. Then when you read these blue screens, that messes with your eyes and everything. So,
So we have potatoes, and then let's talk about sweet potatoes too. So sweet potatoes are another great one. I know we talked about starting the sweet potato slips today on Instagram. I also did a thing on, don't forget to start your sweet potato slips. So sweet potatoes are so easy. You can save your potato till the following year if you save some extras toward the end of the season, because usually it takes, 90 to 110 days or so for your sweet potatoes to come to maturity. So you're going to get them later in the year. And then that way you'll eat on some, but always make sure you save some that you're going to plant and get ready to make slips for next year. And sweet potatoes are another amazing food. They store very well. So I like these things for survival that will store well. And who knows, you may need to barter with them. Just try to make as much as you can. That's why for me, I have a ton of sweet potatoes up there. Each one of these slips, let me show you.
She's going to show you. That's a big daddy right there.
Yeah, this is what I from last year. Look at
that thing's huge. Like it's bigger. Look at her head. The thing's like she's got that right close to her. It's close to her head. As big as her head.
So on these,
look at the beast.
On the sweet potatoes.
I'm proud of it. Hold on, look at this thing. Where you at, Danny? Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Holy smokes! Look at that. I mean, that thing is huge.
Be careful, you're getting water on everywhere.
That's all right.
So each one of these, they're going to start getting little eyes here, and then the little plant or the slip pops out of it, and you can get anywhere from 12, 15 to 50 plants off of one of these.
Yeah, Chris, bring your stuff. Bring it on up there. Pan away at the conference. No problem. Just bring everything you need outside.
So that's what's wonderful. And each one of those slips that you're going to get on there, you're going to put it in water, and then it'll root, and then you're going to plant that. That'll be your plant. Make sure, a lot of people were asking questions. Some people are like, I couldn't do it, or they died. It's very important when you plant your slips and you put your sweet potatoes in that you water it every single day for a couple weeks till they get established. And you'll be able to look at them and they'll be like, ooh, they look a lot better now, because they'll look kind of bad right at the beginning. Don't think they died. And even if they look kind of icky, if you keep watering, you'll start to see some new stuff come up out of there, and they'll do fine. And once they've established, then you don't really have to do much to them. They just like the water at the beginning. And each slip is going to give you a couple pounds of potatoes per each slip. So look at if you plant a whole bunch of them, you can get a lot of potatoes.
And Geraldine, it tastes so chocolatey. It makes you so feel good. And if you put a little dash of maple syrup in it, and the longer you let it steep, the better and chocolatier it gets.
It is.
And there's no caffeine in it. There's a chemical in it called theobromine. She didn't think I'd remember. And, it's not caffeine. It has a slight effect of it, but it won't keep you up. I've had people email me too, say I've had it before bed. I have no problem sleeping. It's no problem. A lot of people have replaced their coffee with chocolate tea.
Or some people put the chocolate tea in their coffee when they're making it, when you brew it up.
How long do seeds last when saving? I mean, if you keep them from getting really super hot, they'll last a long time.
Yeah, and out of moisture. And the thing is some seeds are better at lasting longer. Like carrots are not very good at lasting very long, just a couple years. But generally, most seeds can last many, many years. We had someone sent us some okra seeds, and they were like from 1980, and they worked. So, you know what I'm saying? If you keep them good, we
have a lot of, because, we don't have any controlled air here. We've had a lot of hot and cold temperature through the house, and our seeds are still valuable. So
yeah, and that was one. It was 14 years, like 13 years
and before we had the root cellar. So we've only had the root cellar. What has it been? 3 years now? 2-3 years now. Yeah. The root cellar, where we keep all that food and have done videos on. Jeez, though, it's a trip out there, y'all. I've read some of the comments like floating around and stuff. I might digress a little bit here.
You're digressing.
It's crazy.
All right, so you ready to talk about more food?
Yes.
So I'm a big advocate of greens. You guys, these leafy greens are very, very, very important because they're loaded with magnesium and calcium and potassium, all these things that most of us need. And you guys, everyone's hearing about, you need to have vitamin D3. We have to have D3. Everyone is low on D3. No one's getting outside in the sun. We need that. Well, in order for you to absorb the vitamin D3, you need magnesium. And you're going to get that in a lot of these leafy greens. Now, one of my favorites is arugula, because it's like a superstar, because it's one of these greens that if you plant it in a day or two, you'll see them right away, and you'll get it within 3 weeks or so. So you can start harvesting very quickly. It's like the quickest green. And it's got a peppery taste, so it's a little bitter. It's good to mix with other greens or put it on a sandwich or something. It's wonderful because it's the bitterness is going to help stimulate your gastric juices to help with digestion. And I like arugula because you can use it in so much, because a lot of these other greens, you've heard that word like oxalates that you get in like spinach, and you get it in Swiss chard, and you get it in a lot of these things. And what oxalates do is they can also like pull minerals from your body. So if you eat too much of those things, you know, even kale and all those, if you eat too much, it can start pulling things. Like I know kale, it's a cruciferous type vegetable. It can pull iodine from your body. So people think it's good for you and you eat so much of it. So I like to, you know, alternate having like lettuces mixed in maybe with that. And I won't be eating kale every single day. I don't eat spinach every single day. You know, I definitely, arugula is a really good one. A lot of your other greens, romaine lettuces and all those. So any of those greens are really good, but arugula is one of my top, and also watercress. That's got a little bit more of a bite than arugula, but those bitter herbs or bitter greens like that are so good for your digestion and for, you know, your body.
Bitter is good.
Bitter is very good. So those would be ones that watercress and arugula will pop up very, very quickly. So if you're starving and you want some greens, plant those along with radishes. So radishes are going to be like a 21 day too to maturity. So if you want something quick, and the wonderful thing about radishes is you can eat the greens too. You can saute them.
Oh yeah.
They're high in calcium. They're
Sweet
wonderful.
potato too.
And oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that. The sweet potato greens. The sweet potato greens. This is one of my rock stars in the middle in the heat of summertime. Is when you have the sweet potatoes growing. They have, it's sort of like Rapunzel. You have all the vines. Well, those leaves are so nutrient dense and so wonderful, and they taste wonderful. And when you don't water your sweet potatoes and it's so hot and all your greens have died or they bolted because it was so hot, the sweet potatoes will still be there. Mm-hmm. So that is the green I always go to when I'm out of my greens, right in that heat part of summer. Before,
I'm glad I helped you remember that.
Yeah, before I'm in between, you know, your spring greens and then your fall greens. You can saute them in butter. They're just the best. And that's one thing that you guys should be doing. Don't just throw out the greens. I feed them to the sheep, just love them too. So they're something that you can help feed your animals. So a sweet potato is way high on our list if you're good. Yeah, both your potatoes, the white potatoes like the New Orleans or the Pontiac and the Kennebec, you know, all those are all good ones. Yukon Golds, they'll come to maturity a little quicker than the other ones. But those are great. So the greens, so sweet potato greens, thank you very much. Arugula is a quick one. Your watercress is good. And then some of your other lettuces that you're going to grow, they'll take a little longer. Spinach grows pretty quick too.
She said she got some honey garlic, got some mold on it, probably because some of the garlic stuck up out of the honey. So she just wanted to know what she did wrong.
Yeah, you need to make sure you flip it every day to make sure that they stay coated.
Yeah, because if the honey's coating it and you have a good coating, it won't allow the mold and stuff.
Now, if you just saw it and it was on the very top, you know, and it wasn't touching like all of the honey and you could get it out and save it, then that would be good. You could save it. Okay, let's talk about more plants. So another one, of course, is going to be your onions. Like if you planted green onions, that's another one that's going to be very quick at maturity, you know, like 3-4 weeks. So you could do green onions, or if you want to plant like onions from the seeds or the onion sets, I like to plant them around the edge of my beds. Or if you had a big pot, you could put them around the edge and plant something, you know, plant in the middle. You could do that if you're container gardening. And then that way, while the onions are growing, you can snip off, and I use scissors, and you can cut some of the greens from the green part of the onion, and you can put it on sandwiches or cut them up and put them in soups or anything like that. And then onions are going to store well too. So that's why I like onions. And then of course, garlic.
Onion skins.
Thank you. I was going to talk about that.
I'm such a good student.
So, then we're going to look at this food besides being for our food and giving us flavor and taste and all that. You're going to get so much nutrition, and it's sort of like even like medicine, because you can use the onion skins. They're very high in quercetin, which is great to help with your immune system. You can have onion skin tea. So you just put the onion skins, pour your water over them, and then you can drink your tea. It doesn't taste like onions at all. It's just doesn't taste really much like anything. So if you want to put something else with it or another tea, or you can do it like that.
We did a video about it.
Yes.
Why you should never throw away your onion skins.
Yes. And then garlic is another one. We're talking about honey fermented garlic, which is basically like your homesteaders antibiotic. And you could use it for flavoring your foods, putting it in your foods. Like Doug and I put 3 or 4 cloves. I crush it and put it in our salads every day. Garlic is so powerful for your body, your immune system, your health. So I would do like garlic and onions, and those are simple. One wonderful thing about garlic is if you just have a little area, you can put it, that'll be its forever home. After 2 to 3 years, your garlic bed will be rocking. The first year, they're not going to be as great. And as the years go on, you'll start seeing when the garlic comes up, you'll see more like leaves. That means you're going to get bigger garlic. So garlic and onions are just amazing.
And they're easy to preserve too. You just throw them in a box and cover them with some newspaper if you want, or just leave them alone and they'll just last and last.
In a cool place, and they will last a while. So
over the year,
we really like
winter.
those.
Most things last over the winter, no problem. Even if you don't have a root cellar, we did it for years. So you just find little places to snook them away where they're not getting hot or not getting any sun on them.
And if they start to, get buds on them and they're starting to, sprout or whatever, those are what you eat first.
Yeah.
You eat those first. All right, so let's talk about another one.
Yeah.
Another one that I just absolutely love are cabbage. Cabbage will last a very long time in storage too. And you can make sauerkraut. Homemade sauerkraut tastes so much better than, a lot of people are like, ooh, gross, I don't like sauerkraut. But if you have good fermented sauerkraut that you make, it'll be crunchy. It's going to taste great. It's not going to get mushy. I'm not heating it up. I'm not pasteurizing it. It's going to have tons of raw, the good probiotics in it. And, you're going to get so much vitamin C from it, because a lot of us you need vitamin C. Your cells need vitamin C. Your skin needs vitamin C. Everything needs vitamin C. So, and your immune system. So when you ferment cabbage, it's going to be a rock star, like 700 milligrams, for a serving compared to like 70 milligrams for just like a cup of cabbage. So that's great right there. But besides that, I did a video a long time ago on the steaks. Do you remember that one?
The steaks?
The cabbage.
The cabbage, poor man steaks.
Poor man steaks. Look that one up.
Poor man steaks off grid. Type it on.
Yes.
Leave a comment over there. Maybe you'll get a prize.
Yeah, go to the poor man steak video. Use the cabbage and then you slice them in like pieces of steak, and you put like garlic and butter and like Parmesan cheese, and you bake it in the oven. They're so good. So yeah, you can do things like that. You can shred it, put it in your salads, make coleslaw. I mean, there's so much you can do, and it'll store a very long time. The only thing you got to do, if the outer leaves get all yucky or moldy, just peel them off. So,
yeah, let's get some thumbs up in here, folks.
Cabbage is good too.
What's your hair secret, Stacy? She's just Armenian. She comes
My
with
hair
good
secret?
hair.
Well, the thing is with you don't.
Don't you want to know my secrets?
Okay, I'll tell everybody about your hair. So you don't want to use hot water on your hair when you wash your hair, number one.
Yeah.
Cool water. And then if you do use hot water, always when you're done, rinse it off with cold water. You don't want to wash your hair every single day. The longer you go, you want those natural oils. And the other thing is, it's really important to get a natural, like a boar's head bristle or a wooden bristle, like a natural bristle. And literally, do you remember the girls a long time ago, they would brush their hair 100 times? Well, honestly, if you let your hair go, once you get used to not doing the no poo, you get rid of all the bad phytates and all the chemicals that they have in the shampoo and use more the natural shampoos, your hair will start working like it's supposed to. And when you comb your hair, you're going to be brushing the oils that you might get a little bit here down into your hair. So you just brush, and then it stimulates the scalp too. So you're just brushing your hair, you're brushing. And that really helps too, just to brush your hair like that.
But you gotta tell them, like when they first start doing the no poo and they're going through it, their hair's
it'll get kind of
disgusting.
greasy, so you might want to wear it up for a while. Yeah, it'll be okay. But the other thing, of course,
disclosure now,
without anything else, is your diet is crucial on what's going on with your skin and your hair. Vitamin A is a very, very, very important thing to have. Good eggs, right? Your red meats. Those things have your loaded,
if y'all are having skin problems and this kind of problems, it's because your body is trying to kick out the trash, and it's what you're eating, it's what you're putting in, and that's why you're having these problems on the outside.
So vitamin A is very important. And also just to make sure like you're getting these leafy greens that have all these great healthful nutrients in them. Eating something like a nice big salad every day that has a lot of different vegetables in it, with homemade salad dressing, like your extra virgin olive, I say 2 parts extra virgin olive oil, 1 part raw apple cider vinegar, and 1 part of either raw honey or some maple syrup makes the easiest salad dressing.
Is that in your cookbook?
It is. I have tons of recipes on salad dressings in there. But just to start eating good. And then here's the big thing, and I'm preaching. Sugar is so bad, and anything that turns to sugar, like a lot of carbohydrates. So all you guys, you need to go into more of a lower carbohydrate diet, because you'll notice you'll have more energy, you'll feel better, your skin, your hair, everything. You're eating, good real food, not processed foods. Get rid of all these oils like canola oil, these seed type oils, sunflower oil, all those oils
All
like
those
that. You want
seed
good
oils.
extra virgin olive oil is good for your salad dressings, but saturated fats, what you want to cook your foods in, like your butter or your ghee or your coconut oil or your beef tallow or your duck fat or your rendered lard that you did yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the good things that you guys should be cooking with, and get rid of those bad oils. Canola oil is terrible for you, and they're causing a lot of problems. So making sure you're drinking water, purified water, filtered water, not from the tap, not from the city water. Getting water first thing in the morning. Like you could put a pinch of salt, of the Redmond salt in there, and have a squirt of lemon. Go ahead and drink it. That's a great way to start your day. Have a glass or two first thing in the morning before you do anything. And then you guys want to know, and then I do that. I have my drink of water like that, and then I oil pull. I get my coconut oil.
She does that first thing in the morning.
Because what it does is you've been sleeping all night, so it helps pull out extra toxins out of your body too, and your mouth and all that. So I'll oil pull for about 10 minutes when I'm doing my morning, getting our stove heated up and getting ready for breakfast and all that. So that's what I do. And then just get out and get out in nature, and you'll start noticing over time when you get healthier, your hair and skin will get healthier. And
but it starts off bumpy at first. Did you know today was Andy's 50th birthday?
Well, can Andy or Sandy?
Andy.
Happy birthday, Andy. You're a half a century.
Andy is half a century.
So, okay. Are we going to talk about food some more? So another one that I would probably, you guys can start growing that is easy, and most anyone do, but you need room on this one, are your melons. So like watermelon, cantaloupe, and all that kind of stuff. So those are something that anybody can grow pretty easy if you just have like a little area. Even if you just had a little patch where you could plant it where it was the dirt and then it went off into the grass, you won't have to cut the grass there. So melons are really simple and easy, and they taste good. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard. You can turn a lot of them if you want to dehydrate some, you could do that. But generally, those are things that you just would eat within a kind of a short time. The watermelon will last a little longer than the cantaloupe. They don't last quite as long, but melons are good. And then also even berries. They're so nutrient dense, especially blueberries, blackberries, those things like that have that really dark pigmentation. They have those anthocyanins that are just a super antioxidant. So berries are great. If you guys don't have any berries on your property, maybe think about getting some, putting them somewhere, because they're so nutritious for you. And then you can make jellies and jams.
And then they take a while to grow too. So if you guys are going to do berries, start figuring out how the land, drains and how the sun hits it, and then try to get your plants for berries and your apple trees and stuff in, fairly soon, because they take a long time to give you some.
Right. And the other thing that I would do, and they're the top of my list, are herbs. Because many of these herbs that we'll talk about are perennials, which they'll just come back every single year, and you don't really have to do anything. Like chives are so simple, so if you want that onion flavor and you don't want to grow onions, you're going to get that same flavor from chives, and they come back over and over. And then once you've eaten them and you give them a haircut, sort of like the chia pet, you give it a little cut there, they just keep coming back, and you can keep cutting the whole thing off. If you had a big hunk like this, you just keep cutting it. It'll grow within a day, and they just keep growing back 5-6 times in a season. Mm-hmm. So you could dehydrate those, then you have herbs you can use. So chives are one that comes back all the time. Another one that I love, oregano, is just going to keep coming back. You can harvest it a few times through the season. I love oregano because I put it in all my chicken feed. So I know, Doug, you had a lot of people go back and look at my homemade chicken feed. I don't think I don't remember.
No, we didn't.
I didn't talk about the oregano. So I grow a lot of oregano now, and then I just dry it out, and then I sprinkle it all in my feed. And then that's going to help the chicken's immune system. It's going to help from the bugs or mice getting into your feed too. So if you put some of these stinky things, and it smells so good when I open up the chicken feed, because you can smell the oregano. Oh, it's just amazing. So that's another one. Another one that I do grow a lot of around here, especially it makes teas, are mint. You have to be careful. Keep it in an area because it does spread. It is very invasive. Smells wonderful. It makes the best teas. You can use it in your recipes. But the one thing that I use a lot of it for is for my chickens, because I put it in their chicken nesting boxes. It makes them happy. It helps them lay eggs. It keeps them healthy. It keeps the bugs and mites off of them also. And then I'll even throw it on the floor. They'll peck at it and all that. And it deodorizes and makes my coop smell like mint. So that's another perennial one. Sage is a perennial that's going to keep coming back year after year after year. And then the ones that I really enjoy that is very cold tolerant is parsley. Parsley I use in so many different things. It's very healthy for you. It's good in a lot of different recipes. It's great for I give it to the dog. Like for a lot of you guys, you could get a little handful and I chop up and I put it in the dog's food. It's good for the dogs. It's good to put in, if you're going to make maybe even iced tea or basil's another one. I like basil, and it's a tender plant because if it gets too cold, it will die right away. But you can use that in so many things, like in your flavorings. I love it in drinks. You can go ahead and dehydrate it a lot. And I like different types of basil. I love Thai basil and holy basil are my two favorites. They make wonderful teas, hot and cold teas. So I like to do that. So, think about all these things when you're growing that you can use that will store a while, that you can use to help you make your life happy and give it a little pizzazz, you know what I mean?
And think about the food around your yard that you might be walking past, your lamb's quarter, your dandelions that grow right underneath your feet. Because a lot of that food is just right at your disposable. Elderberries, a lot of people are talking about elderberries. Y'all could be in the ditches right now, snapping off the elderberries, watching our video, watching how to stick them in the ground and getting free elderberries, planting them everywhere. They're in ditches everywhere around your house, probably.
And don't forget on the elderberries, don't forget about the elderflower, the big, white, beautiful flower. It has a beautiful smell. It makes a great tea. So that's another thing that you can put in your little homestead medicinal chest, or just, a nice herbal tea. It's wonderful. You can make elderflower jellies and jams. So a lot of these things that we have around, and he was talking about the lamb's quarter, it's more nutritious than spinach. You can saute that and do so much with that. Like if you don't want to grow any greens, you have it all growing everywhere. And coming up soon, a lot of people even...
Purslane grows all over your sidewalks. It's crazy.
Purslane, yeah.
Super,
I wish I had a picture
super
of one.
good.
So
we did videos about it.
Yeah, purslane it's kind of like a succulent. It's that plant. You'll see it. Sometimes it's in your garden or it's like by the concrete sidewalk and it goes all over and you're like, that's
kind of rubbery.
Yeah, it's a succulent and it actually has a very citrusy, wonderful taste. It's the only plant. It's the highest in omega-3 fatty acids, which is great for inflammation. You get that from like salmon and stuff. So like if you don't eat any meat and you're a vegan, I'd be all over the purslane. But I love purslane. It's really good. I always get it. And what I do is it's in my garden. I had planted it one time and the seeds are tiny, tiny, tiny and the wind blows or whatever. So I'll have my stuff grow and it grows a little later in the season. And so it's very low to the ground. So what it's done is my other stuff's higher. So it's kind of my lower ground cover there. And it makes the weeds not come up too. So I'll just go in there and chop it all up. It has little yellow flowers too, and I'll put it in my salads. I've also fermented them, the thicker pieces, and I fermented it. It's good fermented with some garlic. So purslane's another good one, but there's so much. I always say get some foraging books. Look and see in your area.
What's a good one?
Joel
Gibbons or whatever.
No, that's okay.
It's an okay
Stalking
the
Wild
Experience.
Yeah. But there's a lot of good
No,
that's a good one, but there's other ones that doesn't have colored pictures.
But it's okay.
Yeah, that's
a good
book.
little read.
No, that's a good book, but then there's other ones that have better pictures that might help you.
And a lot of your, extensions or places around where you live will offer that information too, like wild edible plants around your place, or you might find a class if you look online or something like that.
Yeah.
Because everything, of course, is area specific. You have to eat local to where you're at. So you'll have to learn that stuff.
Yep. So, and then of course, one of my ultimate favorites are dandelions. The greens are amazing. You can put them in salads. You can use them as, just a green, like on a sandwich. You can make iced tea or hot tea out of the flowers. You can roast the root, make them into dandelion tea. You can use the root and the leaves and make dandelion tea both ways. It's a good alternative. The dandelion root, once you take it out and roast it, it's a great one to make alternative to coffee. So let's say you can't get coffee. You can do dandelion root tea and make it into coffee because it's a very dark tea. So dandelions are just amazing and they're really, really healthy. And it is kind of a bitter herb too. So that's going to be great for digestion and good for you. Very good for that too. All right, let's see. I don't want to forget anything.
If you have overgrown beds, you just want to get out all the overgrown stuff. Maybe just rough up the soil a little bit or add to it. Somebody also asked you take that soil out every year. No, you just add to it. The soil just disappears. You'll lose a couple inches of soil.
Yeah, I just top dress it a little bit.
Top dress it, rough it up a little bit, and then start planting.
I have, for all you guys.
And you can burn it down if it's weedy and old dry stuff right now. So just keep your eye on it.
I have a little hand hoe. It was about this big, and there's like a little fork on one end and then a hoe on the other. That is what I use for all of my beds. I don't use any other tool, and I lost it for a while, and I wish I couldn't find it. It was so hard just using like a little bitty hoe. I love both of those because if I'm in there and I'm prepping my beds, like today I was in there a little bit, pulling up some of my stuff and letting it drop because I'm not quite ready to kind of work them up yet. But what I'll do is I'll pull all my weeds out, and then basically I'll get some, Doug, you got all that stuff out of the sheep barn. So I'm probably mix that in with a little soil, and I just top dress it. I just put a little soil at the top, and then I'll plant my stuff once they're all ready to go. And it's so easy. Once you get the initial dirt in there, it's easy.
Sassafras tea is good. You can make coffee out of chickweed. I mean, there's so much going on. Like, man, the knowledge, like you could just, there's so much.
Okay.
We've done a lot of it.
Let's talk about beets. Beets are another good one. Some people are like, ew, I don't like beets.
No, beets are awesome.
Because they're too earthy. If you don't like red
Bring
beets.
on the earthy.
Well, if you don't like red beets, try the golden beets because they are not that earthy tasting and they're much more milder. So they're not as beety, I guess you could say. But the great thing about beets is the greens, they're going to come up first. So when the beet greens are very highly nutritious too. So you can get the greens and you get the bottom part. The greens, you'll start getting them right away. So start eating on those in your salads or whatever. And then you can have the beet for roast your beets. You could go ahead and make beet kvass, which is kind of like a fermented drink with salt and water. You can make it's a drink, so you can ferment that. You could, what else can you do with beets? I'd ferment them. I love.
You juice them?
Well, fermented drink is beet kvass, but you can also just ferment them. Like have a big jar of beets that are in my refrigerator now that are fermented. So yeah, you can juice them. I mean, beets are really good. They're good for your blood flow and for stamina. So they're so great. So I like beets, so that would be on my list. But some people may not like beets. And they're really good in salads, too, with goat cheese and pecans.
Yeah.
All right, what else? Do we get them?
I bet y'all don't eat a lot of salads out there. We see y'all eat sometimes when we have these events. Got our eye on you guys. Stacy. We got our eye on you, Stacy. Stacy won the truck, y'all. Did you see the giveaway of the Ford F-150?
Yeah, wasn't that cool?
Her name was Stacy. I never met her in my life. I talked to her one time on the phone because we called the 5 winners, okay? Never been to her place, never met her dad, don't know nothing about the folks. All I know is they entered the contest. She's a subscriber to our channel. And when we picked her, I drove the truck out there.
And what county was it in?
It was in Douglas County because where I parked the car, I should have showed you the sign. The sign was right there and it said Douglas County. And I thought, holy smokes. So, just so you know.
Yep, that was pretty cool. Okay, let's see what else. I don't want to forget my picks. Now, everyone's like, what about tomatoes and peppers? Now, I would pick peppers. I like peppers too, and tomatoes. Tomatoes are going to take a little longer to grow. So if you're in a hurry, everyone likes the tomatoes pretty much, don't you think?
Well, it's like a staple. I mean, everybody can grow tomatoes. Everyone grows tomatoes.
And you can make ketchup out of tomatoes. Yes. You can make tomato soup. You can make tomato juice.
You can
make tomato sauce. You can make fermented tomato sauce. There's so much you can do with tomatoes. So tomatoes would be one on there if you like. Yeah, tomato powder I just saw. So there's a lot to do. Tomato paste. So tomatoes are great, and then it's a good base to add flavor to your other soups and stews and things like that. So tomatoes would be good, and there's different varieties. So even if you're possibly living in an apartment, you can get a determinate kind, a more bushy kind of tomato, a determinate, or get like some of those cherry tomatoes, and then you can grow that a lot more successful in your apartment or in like a container compared to some of the other tomatoes that you might grow and need a little bit more room. So tomatoes are good. There's so many varieties. Don't think you need to have just a red tomato. There's yellow, there's purple, there's brown, there's black.
Cherries, there's small
yeah,
ones,
all
big
different
ones.
kinds. So, you know, maybe ask around if you're new to it and find out which ones are good, you know, in your area, which grows pretty well. And then tomatoes are great. And you can do, what do you call them? Sun-dried tomatoes are excellent.
Yum yum, and you can use a sun oven and you can make sun-dried tomatoes.
Yeah, sun-dried tomatoes are amazing. So that's another one that would be awesome. And then peppers. So peppers are great. You could use them, of course, with like, you know, cayenne peppers, chili peppers, all those different kind of peppers are great to use for seasonings, as well as, you know, you can do stuffed peppers. I love stuffed peppers, and use them in your recipes. There's so many different things you can use for peppers, and they're just really good for you. And peppers always start off kind of slow. So a lot of people are like, I can't grow peppers. They always die or whatever. Sometimes if you just leave them alone, they like it pretty hot, very consistent, and then eventually they'll kind of catch up and they do pretty good at the end of the season. So peppers are another good one.
Southern Yankee prepper, listen up. Okay, I'm gonna give you some smackdown right quick. Here's your water container. Okay, all of the pressure is at the bottom, right? Think about it. The water's pushing down as it escapes, so all your pressure is down here. So if you're going to put a hydrant in and the water's going to come out here, then you want this as high as where the spigot comes out, right? So if it's up this high and then the spigot comes out here, it's going to travel down in the ground and up out of the spigot. So you'll get all the water out of the tank. If you put it here, you're only going to get this much water out of the tank, see? Because that's the highest point. So the higher up you can put it, that's up to you, right? To where the head is, where it comes out, then the more pressure you're going to get. So just always make sure for maximum pressure, you keep the head at the bottom of the tank. Our 3,000 gallons, 1,500 to 1,500 gallon tanks, the bottom of them are the level with the sink outlet right behind you guys here, right there.
And when our water tanks start to get low, my water pressure will go,
Terrible.
It'll get worse.
Yeah.
And then when we get a rain, all of a sudden, the water comes out. So it
Don't
just
pay your bill, lose the pressure.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
So that's just the gravity thing. So what happens is if plumbers have no idea about this stuff because they work with pressure all the time and regulated everything. So it's totally opposite. If you're a plumber, it's totally the opposite. How about some thumbs up? We get some thumbs ups. 4,500 people watching, 3,879 thumbs up. Give us a little more love on the thumbs up. And it's pretty good. We're only 1,500 people shy from last week, and there's a Super Bowl going on. So good job, y'all. Appreciate that.
All right, I want to talk about...
Don't be distracted.
Something else.
Go ahead.
I'm going to talk about...
You're on fire.
I know. Pea shoots. Pea shoots.
Poo-poo?
No, pea shoots. So, you know, when you grow peas, it can either be the sugar snap peas or it can be regular peas. And you plant them when they first come up, right? You're going to give them a little haircut. So you're going to kind of take off the first part of it there. And then that way, it's the beginning, it's young. It's sort of like I was talking about microgreens. And you're just going to cut them and you're just going to give them a little haircut. And then that's what you're going to eat off and just keep doing that for a while. Then you can maybe have your area that you're just keep cutting on. Don't cut the whole thing off because you want it to keep growing. And then on another area, maybe if you're going to have your trellis or whatever they can crawl up on, you can have that go to full maturity. And maybe these other ones you're doing the pea shoots because they're good in salads or on top of sandwiches and all that. They're wonderful. Mm-hmm. And they'll grow very quickly. So if you want to start getting some, and they taste like a pea. So that's something else you can look into is pea shoots. I wanted to talk about that. All right. Was there anything else? Oh, just like, so there's a lot of people who go to the store. I've had a few people ask me this. You know when you go to the grocery store and it says baby kale or baby lettuces, you know what I mean? You get
baby carrots.
Well, it's the green.
That.
It's the greens. You know when you get the greens, it says baby this. And then people think it's a different kind. Basically, it's the stuff's growing and it's just baby. They harvested.
It's like the micro.
Yeah, they harvested earlier. So for what you can do, and this is how I like to do it, like with my arugula, or if I get a lot of my different, lettuces or greens or like kale, the baby kale. So I'll just throw a ton of it out. I'm not putting it in rows or anything. I just have my little area where my greens are and I'll just throw a bunch of seeds out there and then they're all going to come up. And I just go in and I give it a little haircut and that's how I get my greens. And then you just keep doing that every few weeks or so after it's come to its maturity, and then you just keep replanting every few weeks.
Here, I can make a song real quick. Doug and Stacy is the place for me. Homestead living is the life for me. Keep that city and that grid, my friend. Cause, come on.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know either. Leave it in the comments. Finish it up.
Okay, so now what was I talking about?
I don't know.
You
Squirrel.
interrupted me. Yeah, you interrupted me. So what was I talking about?
Oh, I don't know.
I was talking about growing something.
What foods do you eat for thyroid problems?
Well, you just want to eat a good, things. Well, the one thing, you want to eat food that's nourishing for your thyroid, of course. So, sardines would be really good. Do you like sardines? Sardines are good. And just eat, some vegetables, some certain cruciferous vegetables. If you're okay, cook them. Salads, good grass-fed meat. Eating a good diet, good fats will be very helpful. Stay away from sugar, guys.
Yes, sugar.
Sugar is so terrible for you. So you could cut back on the amount of sugar. Just look into like low carbohydrate type diets. Like tonight for dinner, Doug and I had Lulu kebabs, which is a lamb burger. I season it really good.
Big old salad.
And then with a big salad, and then I did like a yogurt dressing with fresh garlic and lemon juice.
But you didn't tell them what I had for breakfast. You fed me blood clot eggs. I was going to die this morning. She's trying to take me out with these eggs that cause blood clots. Oh my gosh. I couldn't know what to do.
So we just had, I had a big, huge salad, and I put everything but the kitchen sink in it. There's so much stuff in it. And then I have, I put I had a bunch of sprouts in there. There was a bunch of sprouts in there. I had fresh garlic in it. I had onions in it. So, along with the meat. So that was kind of what we ate. And then for breakfast, of course, we do eggs, and then I'll do. I love omelets.
Oats.
I love omelets.
Love
steel cut oats
with the goat cheese.
Yeah, so I just try to do a lot, and
that's the
really
10% we get off the place, the goat cheese.
So, but you just want to eat like real food, like nutrient dense food.
How come they're trying to get you off of real food? Have you thought about that? Like everything they're pushing, and it's funny. I was telling Stacy, or was it you, that I was saying like the last 10 years or 20 years of the food in America has really gone chemicalized, and they've been feeding it to you guys so long. I think they just feel like they could just roll over anything on you now and pass it off as food because you guys have accepted, and we were there too, right? We had to wake up. We got woke on the food too. We're fed all these chemicals all day long, and they think, man, look at them just sucking down these chemicals, and they're sicker. Look around your place. How many new hospitals, emergency care places, doctor-physician places, this place, that place that all deals with doctor stuff? How many of those are popping up? Just take a survey for yourself.
Oh, I was talking about, thank you, the greens, the baby greens. So all those little baby greens, you just go ahead and just put a bunch of them in your, a pot out in your bed somewhere, out in your garden. And then that way, when they pop up, just cut them and then use the baby greens. So easy.
Peasy.
Easy speasy.
Lemon squeezy.
Yep.
So at the Homesteading Live Conference, I'm going to try to bust open a few more tickets. I'm going to have you guys standing shoulder to shoulder. Because that's what you want. And we're going to butcher a rabbit right there live on the scene, man. And we have a solar guy coming. Zach at American Homestead is going to talk about solar. Zach at American Homestead actually lives 100% off solar. They live off, I think they have a well and rainwater, but for sure they have rainwater.
And he's going to start talking about
grow food,
their homestead, how to get started.
Getting systems in place at your place. He's tried the aquaponics, which I wasn't a fan of, and told him not to do it. Are you watching, Zach? He finally stopped doing that. But it's hard to do when you're just working off of solar power too, right? And we're in a cold climate, so the fish were always freezing on them. So, but he's doing the thing. And that's what we want, is people doing the thing. We have a couple more other classes, health and nutrition stuff. Stacy's going to be doing some hands-on fermenting.
Yeah, I'm going to do a ton of stuff about how to. Everyone wants to just know, how to make apple cider vinegar, how to...
all the staples.
Yeah, just lots of everything. You know how now I can't even think what they are, but I have to write it down.
If you can't come to the Homesteading Live Conference, you can take a fermenting class with Stacy at the Okie Homestead Conference Expo. The
June
tickets
1st, I think.
I'll leave a link right here.
Yeah, I'm doing an all-day homesteading or a fermenting class.
So you'll get tickets for the expo, which are like $25 or something. It's super affordable, family-friendly, great event. And when we say family-friendly, we don't mean no drag queen story time family-friendly, right? We mean family-friendly, okay? And it's going to be a great time. It's in Oklahoma. I'll give you
the May County Fairgrounds.
Yep. So you can get your tickets for that, and then you have to get an extra ticket for Stacy's class, and it's very limited seating for that class, but it's hands-on and it's all day. Lots of Q&A, questions and answers and stuff, right? So I will give the link in these comments flying by right now, and then you guys can go if you want to go, and we'll both be there, along with a lot of other folks that you might know and cherish and love and respect. So we hope to see you guys there. And you guys can always go to our events tab at offgridwithdougandstacy.com to see where it is we're going to be so you can come and see us live.
Oh, yeah. And then in the book that I'm writing about, like just home health, home everything, remedies, home everything. I'm doing a lot of stuff on skincare, homemade stuff. Everything
that's
is
coming
natural.
out soon. We're going to pre-sell that pretty soon.
Yeah, because I'm getting closer to that. So, and that has everything. I talk about things, and it's not going to be, this is not like an herbal book. I have things that you can use, anybody has in their house, from cayenne pepper to apple cider vinegar to garlic and onions.
Prep Like Gypsy, where are you? Because we're going everywhere. We just got to get our feet on the ground first. I'm trying to book these little spots everywhere. That's why we got the RV, so we could see you guys this year. And don't forget about our February contest. I didn't bring it over.
Oh my gosh, it's coming up.
We have cabbage we're giving away.
Yeah, that's Wednesday.
Hold on, today's the 12th. 3 more days we're giving away cabbage.
Some people don't know what your cabbage is.
Well, that's too bad. Then they're not in the loop. And that's shame on them for missing those videos. But we're giving away some of the greenest cabbage, period.
How many cabbages we're giving away?
Yeah, 5,000 cabbages. And that's in a couple more days.
The 15th.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do it again on the 28th.
Yeah.
Oh, where do I get my stevia from?
Yes.
So I overwinter mine so then I don't have to worry about it sometimes, because you used to be able to get it. Lowe's and Home Depot used to have it a lot of the times. And a lot of the nurseries might have stevia. Just go check and see. Otherwise, you can get the seeds. You can buy the seeds.
Tell them about the label first before you move on.
What do you mean the label?
On the stevia.
What about it?
You don't want it processed.
No, he's talking about the grow it. This is not
oh, right on.
So the stevia, you can get the seeds. The one thing I will tell you, it's harder to get started. So if you have like the grow lights or you have the heat mats, plant a lot of extra seeds because they're not going to germinate as well. But you only need a few plants. So I like to plant mine in big pots so that pot I can bring in and overwinter. And generally I give it a little haircut at the end of the season. I bring it in the house. It looks kind of ugly. I might water it. I'll water it a few times throughout the winter, and then I take it out and it'll start to grow again. I plant it out in the garden or wherever I want it to grow. It's going to grow pretty big, and then I can give it a couple haircuts. I dehydrate it, crumble it up, put it in my jar, and I use it in my teas and things like that. So it's very simple. Once you get it growing, it grows great.
All right. So look, I know you don't want to hear just do it, right? That's it. There's no magic potion if you want to quit smoking or if you want to quit any bad vice in your life. You have to man up and quit, right? I've done it several times. When I wanted to quit something, I quit.
Okay, here's the other thing for if you are smoking cigarettes, because there's a lot of chemicals in cigarettes. So this sounds kind of weird, but you could get rolling paper and get actual tobacco and roll their cigarettes. So that could be your next step. So you can start getting rid of the chemicals and then go from there. And the big thing is it sucks a lot of nutrients from your body.
And don't hang around people that smoke.
So, and here's the other thing that I would highly recommend, and actually for anyone, I really like the Relight that Redmond offers.
Minerals.
Those minerals, because your body it's all that stuff's been sucked out of your body even more so.
Good
So
point.
you could get the Relight. It comes in different flavors, or you can get it unflavored, and it's just in little packets, and you can just pour it and have it in your water, and that's going to help you get through it because those minerals will totally help with a lot of stuff that's going on. So that's what I would suggest. And of course, eating a good diet. Don't eat too much sugar, good leafy greens, good grass-fed meats, good fats, all that. And then I think, you can do it.
You can do it. There's nothing to it. And put God in your life. Y'all, we are turning into a secularist. What is secularism? Secularism?
Secular?
Secular, but it's called secularism when you're taking God out of everything, right? Man, they are putting a number over on y'all with the TV and the kids and the schools and the colleges. Anybody watching this video right now, sending your kid off to college and being excited about it, you need to get roughed up a little bit because it's a cesspool in that place. They ain't teaching nothing over there except how to be.
It depends on what school.
No, I don't care what school.
It does.
They're all compromised.
There's one. No, there's a
Believe
really.
it, sister.
Not all of them.
I'm saying it.
No.
I'm saying it.
You're wrong because you don't know all these colleges. The School of Ozarks is awesome.
School of Ozarks.
Yeah,
well, that's a little bitty old little mom and pop school.
No, but there's
that's
a lot
like
of
the
other
exception to the rule.
No, there are.
Oh, and I'll guarantee you, they got some liberal leanings down there. But they do pretty good. But all these colleges are just stealing your money. Send them to trade schools.
Or college of those.
Get them on the hands. Get them all building stuff. Get back to the old school ways. All these college people, they're busting their butts, saving their money.
Schools too.
Yeah, look, Mr. Rowe, my buddy who looks like me, he doesn't agree with it either. These colleges are terrible. Spend your money wisely. Give your kids a better start. Have them work with their hands. It's awesome stuff. Yeah. Yeah, College of the Ozarks is amazing. Yes. Sandra Campbell. She knows all about it.
No, it's a great school.
It is.
And then you can go and they have a restaurant. Everything. They have to work. Yeah. They have to work.
It's a little different school.
They have a restaurant. Yeah. They grind.
I'm talking about your big universities, even Mizzou, all these big universities. That's what I'm talking about. Now, you can find some little small ones still. You know what I'm saying. Simplify, always and forever.
Yep. So Lisa wants to know, what do I season my salad dressing with? A lot of times I don't season with anything because I put a ton of garlic in my salad. Put it in there too. Sometimes I will. I'll put garlic in there. You can put lemon juice in there. I mean, you can do a lot of different things. Salt and pepper in there. Put some cayenne pepper in there, depending what you like. But or you can just do it in the salad itself. Crush some garlic and then just use. And what I do for me, because it lasts longer, I like to just do the salad dressing with 2 parts extra virgin olive oil, 1 part raw apple cider vinegar, and 1 part maple syrup or raw honey. And then I just keep that. I can put it in the fridge or let it set out or whatever, and then it'll last a long time, and then shake it and put it in my salad. And if I want any seasonings, I can just put it in the salad, and then that way it'll last longer. All right. What else do we have?
72 years, Linda Campbell. And you're still just a spring chicken.
A lot of people are starting to grow microgreens.
Can you stand on 1 foot?
So here's a good one, you guys. You have homework.
We talked about the food. Like, we gave you guys some good, solid information on the food, what to grow to keep you from starving, food that grows pretty quick. If you guys do the 90-day stuff, the radishes and the greens.
Not 90, that's 21 days. Radishes.
Yeah, these are 21 days, but less than 90. You can actually barter those, flip them for money, stuff like that. So that market gardening is what that's called. So just a lot of good information for you guys, and all that information she talked about, a lot of that food is going to give you the vitamins and the minerals and the nutrition that you need, and also always being in the dirt, growing food, being outside.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
Good for you.
So the health, you need your hands to touch the dirt. There's microorganisms in there, your feet being barefooted. It's so healing for you to be outside in nature and touching the dirt and all that. I mean, it's just amazing what it can do for your mindset, your health, being out, not having your body looking at a screen all the time or just staying inside. If you're in a wheelchair, you can't walk very well, get a chair out there. If you had a raised bed, you're right there to do your work. Or if you're in a chair outside, sit outside, put your feet into the grass. And then that way it's very grounding, very healing for the body. It helps. I saw something about what someone wants to know about arthritis. Just being grounded, sitting out.
I used to be grounded all the time when I was a kid.
But when you put your feet in the earth or on something natural like that, it really helps with pain and inflammation. It's
huge.
A
scientific fact.
And then actually in my book, I have a really great recipe for a homemade herb, like a salve that you can use that's good for pain and inflammation too.
I love it.
Yeah. And then also anti-inflammatory
We're living
foods.
proof of all this stuff, y'all. I mean,
turmeric and ginger. I'm going to actually have, that's one of my tea blends.
One of our tea blends.
Turmeric and ginger are two wonderful things you can do in a powder or in the root. Incorporate that in making teas and all that. It's just wonderful to help for inflammation and pain. What else do we have? Can you read them?
Do you grow watermelon?
Of course.
Is that racist?
Yeah, I love watermelon. Really good salad is where you get the watermelon and you cut it in cubes and you get blueberries and feta cheese. It makes a really good salad. And you could get some fresh mint. It's really yummy, and a little lemon juice. And you can put some greens, some greens and put that on top. It's a really good salad.
The most capable hand is at the end of your wrist. You cannot beat tyranny by conforming.
Jane A, no, I don't drink coffee. I would throw up if I drank coffee. I can't do it. It makes me sick.
And I only drink it when we're out, like on the road or something, and we eat out at a restaurant in the morning. That's the only place I ever have coffee. That's it. The only place. Oh man, we've been here for over an hour and a half already, y'all.
Are you serious?
I know, right?
Wow.
I'm trying to teach you guys that you can grow some food even on a balcony. Did you guys see Stacy who won the F-150? She had containers out on her balcony, y'all. I was so happy when I saw that. I even put it in the video. She had that. She had a little Berkey, keeping her water fresh, drinking that city water. She's really trying hard, right? And we had a good, hard talk, too, because I kind of roasted her butt a little bit. Because, that's why, they let you into their house. And, man, I'm like, me and Stacy walk into people's houses, and we're just like, and we're looking around everywhere. And I'm like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, you don't want me to come in your house.
I know, right? So we had a good talk about our house and some of the stuff going on in there, y'all. And we've been trapped, right? We've been suckered into buying these chemically laden, estrogen messing with chemically stuff that's permeating every part of our life, y'all.
And another thing for you guys at health too, look at what's in your home. Your home is your most toxic place. Put a lot of plants in there because it does, NASA did all the studies, they show it does purify the air. So it's really important, getting a bunch of plants in your house. It does help clean the air. And then what was
you could do little things for sure. Like, get rid of the Colgate toothpaste. Don't have the bounce dryer sheets in your house.
Yeah. All
that stuff's bad news.
Yeah,
tell them, Stacy.
Oh, because you guys like all.
We told you how to make tooth powder. Do what we told you. Make some tooth powder.
So yeah, your dryer sheets and all that. I mean, now they have some a little bit more natural ones. That stuff's on your skin, and you're absorbing all those.
And you're breathing that all day.
So a lot of those are like endocrine disruptors, which messes up with they're like fake hormones that you're putting in your body too. And could cause like skin irritations and all that.
And it causes a few other things too.
So like getting a natural, making your homemade laundry detergent, or there's quite a few like, is it ECOS or EOS? ECOS or EOS? ECOS, I think it is. That's, a little bit more natural. You don't want all the smells and all that. If you do want smells in them, like if you make homemade, I like to put essential oils. Eucalyptus makes a wonderful smell. It's not as potent as when you smell it, you're like, oh, it smells so medicinal. When you make it and put it in your laundry detergent, it smells really good. Your laundry smells so fresh and wonderful. So just kind of punt some of that kind of stuff. It makes the hugest difference. Little bitty baby steps like that. Getting all the, like the Glade air fresheners and all those scented candles. they're not good for your health at all. So,
Mark, why do I got to go on the Rumble for? I'm on the YouTube speaking about it. That's awesome, isn't it? Because a lot of people don't have the nerve to do it, but I do. And no one is bothering me. So I'm not moving nowhere. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. All right.
Okay, so David wants to know about...
Have you done winter sowing in containers? I saw that question a bunch of times.
Oh, so what I do is I put it in my raised beds, or we have a cold frame out front. And then toward the end of the year, right before winter, I'll have planted some things and they'll start to grow. And then I just get like an old tote, like you put your sweaters and stuff in. It's a clear tote. You don't want a colored one. And then I just put it over it in my raised bed and basically make a little terrarium. And no matter... it stays on there during the high winds, the snow, the ice, freezing Arctic temperatures, and then you just lift it up and there's like this beautiful green terrarium thing in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it works out really good, and that's what I do. That works out best for us because we have really very bad straight line north winds up here, and like I wanted to put like what do you call those? The plastic, the little tunnels over, and it wouldn't work. They would probably get ripped up, and he'd have to fix them every like 3-4 months, wouldn't they?
What do you do about dryer sheets? I have dogs. Hang your stuff out to dry outside.
So what do they have? What's wrong?
Dogs. Something about dogs and the hair is horrible. I don't know why dryer sheets.
You know what they have in your dryer?
You get alpaca balls.
Well, there's also here. So some people might not know this. Yeah, the dryer balls that you could get the alpaca, but they also have balls that are little. Your mom has these. That's how I know.
Got big balls and they've got big
So there are these balls and they got little spiky things on them, and it sucks up the dog hair and the cat hair.
Name that tune.
Stop. So does anybody know what I'm talking about? So there are balls with the little pricklies, and then it's like Velcro-y, and then you put that in your dryer, and it takes all the hair off of your clothes. So.
Yeah. Takes the hair off your clothes.
It does.
It does.
You should see it when they're done.
AC/DC, you got her.
How to stay warm in case of an emergency.
Build a fire.
Well, they have those silver blankets. You know what I mean? I'm talking about. I have one in the car, actually.
Yeah.
I ran a half marathon. They gave you one of those at the end. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I got a few of them.
Well, dang, y'all, we loaded you up with information. We're going to have a big giveaway in a couple more days. And then at the end of the month, we're going to have another big giveaway. 5,000
cabbages.
Cabbage. We're trying to help you guys move the needle. I'm getting all kinds of crazy stuff from everybody, but I don't care. Me and Stacy being canceled from places, too, because we're talking about the truth of what's going on in our country. Right now in Ohio, I don't know if you know this, but there's a chemical fire burn going on that's releasing toxins into the air. It is off the chain.
Is anybody here from Ohio?
It's the chemical that they use for the PVC pipe. The railroad overturned, and then now they decided to catch it on fire. Birds and everything are dying. It's a total mess.
Yeah, you guys heard about that?
After we did our last live show, another chicken place in Finland went up, killed all kinds of chickens. So, I know it's hard to believe, but the food pressures, they're going to...
Get prepared.
They're going to get you.
Figure out some of the stuff that we talked about tonight. You might want to implement or keep doing what you're doing.
Get with a neighbor, and maybe you guys can buddy up together and grow food, and, just try to do the best that you can where you are.
Yeah, find someone, like if you want to learn how to make noodles, they're simple. You just need your egg. You can do egg yolk, egg noodles.
Get out to a place this year, y'all. Get some hands-on stuff. Come see us in Oklahoma. Come see us at Eustace Conway's place, Turtle Island Preserve. Come see us at the Homesteading Life Conference, right? Come see us at these places that we're going to be at.
And then that way you can start mingling and meeting other people, like-minded people. And then that way you could exchange phone numbers, or if you have a question, sometimes you might be someplace where no one around you does what you do. If you meet somebody, you can give them a call and talk to them.
And if you don't like me, then go see other people, but just go get some information, right? That's what it's all about, y'all. They've been stashing this away from us. They got everybody so dumbed down now. I mean, it's just, it's a mess out there. I mean, these young people I'm really feeling for, because they are totally going to be clueless. They're going to outlaw growing food. They're doing everything right underneath your nose. Everything's voluntary. Remember, I've explained this to you guys before. Scriptures even confirm everything is voluntary. You have to make the choice whether you're going to go with this program or that program. You have to make the choice whether you're going to be watching the Super Bowl NFL or learning how to grow food to keep you from starving. You know what I mean? You have to make the good choices right now. All right, Doug and Stacy, are you coming to Florida? Yeah, we'll be there in a couple weeks. Shh. We got some cool stuff planned for you guys. And we want to see your faces. It's no joke. We want to see your faces. So we are going to do it.
Oh, Trisha made the sourdough starter for the first one. Good. Made sourdough cornbread. Ooh.
Nice.
I need to do that. I keep wanting to make it, and things keep happening. I don't have enough time, or something happens. I've been wanting to make that for like the past month.
And y'all, if you're going to do this lifestyle, you have to be good at time management. That's one thing for sure. People wonder how we get all the stuff done that we get done. We're good with our time management, you know? So that's one thing you got to work on. You can't be slothful.
All right. Thomas wants to know what's good for tooth pain. Oil pulling is amazing.
The best. Oh, explain to him what oil pulling is before we go. Because a lot of people had a question about it. They don't understand what you're saying. The oil pulling, and then also someone had a question about the cavities falling out or something while you oil pull. Go.
So you get some coconut oil and put it in your mouth.
What kind?
Coconut oil.
What kind?
It can be either one, refined or unrefined. Coconut oil.
I thought you liked the virgin.
Coconut oil. Just
Okay.
Yeah, it's extra virgin or virgin coconut oil. It's
I'm
fine.
just saying that's what we get.
So then you're just going to put, like a tablespoon or so in your mouth, and you're just going to swish.
It's hard to do it at first. When you first start doing it, you might have the gag reflex. It affects a lot of people. Like you got that stuff in your mouth and you're like, don't swallow it, but go ahead.
So you're going to swish it around, and what it does is it's going to pull out all the toxins, because it can get in between the teeth and all that. It's going to pull all that stuff out, and then spit it in the trash can. Don't put it in your sink because it will get hard. And then that way it helps, like if you have maybe a tooth fell out, or you have a cavity, or your mouth hurts or something, or you can't get to the doctor, and you just swish for a while, it'll totally make it feel better. So that's something good you can do. You
should do that on the daily, just as a preventative, right? If you don't want to be at the dentist, right? Because they're just practicing medicine too.
So you could also do a little clove oil will help with pain.
There's also a plant that you can grow at your house called the
toothache plant. It's darling. It's like little buttons, and they come in a couple colors, yellow and what it does is you can take that off and you just rub it on your teeth, and it literally, when you go to the dentist and they give you the shot and it anesthetizes it, it makes your gum and your teeth and your lip totally numb. It's crazy. So, but you can get it.
Plant. It's for real.
You can get it at rareseeds.com, but It's pretty cool. And it's a cute little plant. So
if you have not registered for the giveaway, you have got to go to offgridwithdougandstacy.com. A box will pop up. This is for the February giveaway for the cabbage. You have to go there, and every time we do a giveaway right now, you have to show up and register for each one. It has their own folders. Each one has their own folders, okay? So make sure you guys are doing that. That's the only way.
Because there's two cabbage giveaways, one on the 15th and one on the 28th.
And I'm watching the comments on every video. I'm writing people's comments down. I'm seeing who's leaving comments, and then I'll be picking somebody off the list that is on there, and then coordinating all that, and then that person's going to get the cabbage.
The cabbage.
And I can pick whoever I want. I don't want to have any sour grapes about anybody leaving comments about, I mean, y'all are, people who do that are pitiful, okay? We're trying to bless y'all, so let's make this a happy, joyful thing. And let's be grateful and happy for the people that win, because it's a blessing. And I promise you, I don't know, none of these people, whoever wins, are just people that just win. I might know some of them if it works out that way, but this is all legit stuff. We're just trying to bless you guys and help you out. Move your needle. That's what we're calling it. Move your needle. Can you register more than once? You can register one time per each one.
Because we're gonna have a giveaway every month.
Yes.
All righty. Oh yeah, back to organic. You follow Tommy John? I love him. He is great.
Who is it?
Tommy John Jr. Yeah, he's got great movement advice.
Oh,
I give him a he's awesome. I follow him too.
Yep.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
And that is a wrap. Man, y'all. I was like, what is that? I don't even know where's its clock at. 88 minutes. Whew. We try to answer your questions. We try to give you guys some great examples on food you can grow to keep you out of the starve house. Stuff you can grow in a little bit of space. You can get some books we recommended, right? So you can get your knowledge on. We're going to be trying to show you all these videos coming up. I got a video coming up tomorrow. I have to work on our water situation here. It's time to change the filter. So I might take you under the house and show you how that all works. Plus we have some stuff to talk about. What's going on? And this is salt, right out of the salt mine. Isn't that something? And you see the dark spots on it there? That's the more sought after salt for the cooks. It has the manganese in it. Manganese, that's what I said. So yeah, we got real live chunk salt here.
Here is something. And then the guy that was talking about the, what was I going to say? Talking about the quitting cigarettes. But then for a lot of you guys, you know, when you get a craving for something, like you want to have a sweet or you want to, you know, you want something or a craving or something.
I got cravings.
It could be, you know, you just need the minerals. So that's why a lot of these, you can get these little chunks of salt. And Redmond has them. If you go to offgroupandstacy.com, you can go to the shop tab and you can get, they even have the chunks. So I like to leave them.
So what do they say? They say
if you take if you lick it, your body will be like, ooh, it's good. And it might get rid of the cravings that you have because that's what your body is just wanting. It wants the minerals. So having this like round, like I have it on the desk. I have one here, like Luna,
yeah,
our granddaughter.
There's a way to tell.
Well, if you are needing minerals and you lick the salt and it tastes pretty good to you, that means that you need the minerals. So if you would go ahead and lick it and you're like, ooh, that's so salty, then you're pretty good. But generally when you go to lick it, it's like, ooh, that tastes good. Like Luna comes over all the time. I have one on the table here and she always gets it and licks it. And she's like, that's good. I'm like, well, you probably need to have some more. You know what I mean? So
because she sweats, she's outside, she's a kid, she's playing.
She's running around like a crazy person when she comes over here. So that's good to too. If you have like a little chunk and you can just leave it and put it, you know, on your desk and have some when you need it. If you have a craving for something, just have a little lick of salt and that might help that craving.
And on that note, we're going to say goodnight. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.
Good night, sweetheart. All right, you guys have a great night. It was fun hanging out with you.
All right, so we talked about it, right? We gave you all the info we can. See you guys on the next video, probably tomorrow. And we'll try to pound them out all during these giveaways. I'm trying to put as many videos as I can out just so you guys all know what's going on because it's really weird. YouTube selectively sends videos out to y'all. So some of you might watch our videos and you think you're catching every one. But you've missed this video and that video and this video. Some people have never seen our root cellar video. So when somebody tells them, where do they put all that food? They must be lying. Then they can't say, oh, I saw that video. What are you talking about? But we have all those videos. There's like almost 1,500 videos there of our whole lifestyle from all the way back 6, 7, 8 years ago. 7 years for sure.
Yeah, Doug didn't have a gray beard then.
Right. And I was a little more heavy. And we just have documented our whole adventure out here, building this whole cabin from scratch, growing our food, pooping in buckets, being ungovernable, and trying to teach you guys along the way. So hopefully we've been a valuable asset for such a time as now.
That's true. That is so true. You guys just get out there and do something. Get on your little list and pick something every day and get it done, you know, and you guys can do it. You all can do it. We are all strong individuals and you're stronger than you know.
That's it.
So
now we'll see you guys in the future.